You know, something felt kind of odd to me in the last area, like we weren't really done with it. And you know, there was a good reason for that. You know what reason there was for that? It was because we weren't done with it, and that there was more to go on to get another item. And now I'm gonna have to go back and do that area. But before I do that, this guy is sort of a landmark, but if you go here and then walk to the right, you'll be able to go up here, and then in here, which turns out to be a labor camp, but we're not interested. Oh, well, there's a shrine here. You know, they went through a lot of, precautions not to get seen, but, we don't really care about the laborers, we just want the red jewels. But yeah, we're gonna have to go to that area again, and chances are I'm just gonna find something to talk about. What I was thinking of talking about was the, music in this game, mostly because I was recording this part a second ago and then I stopped, and then, like, tried again, but, like, the music in this game, it's not bad music. Like, if they had done all the music in this game, like they did, like, if they had done more music, here's the thing about the music in this game, it's great music, like, I downloaded the OST once and had it for a while, but like the one thing that's like wrong or bad about it, I guess I can't exactly say if there's anything wrong, because that would mean that it's just there's no like way to redeem it. It's just completely incorrect the way they've done it. But like, one of the bad things about it is that they just reuse music so often. Like, this music right here was reused in many different places, not only in dungeons, but when like bad things happen. It's just, the music is good, but it's reused way too often to be like, to keep any of its meaning. Like, they so could have just, if they had made, like, okay, it would be a lot more tracks, but, I mean, it would make the game so much better if they just did that. If they just added those tracks, or songs, or whatever you want to call them. Cause, like, it's just bad, like, how often music is reused, and I hadn't really noticed it before, mostly because when I play on emulators, I usually have something running in the background, and I don't actually listen to music when I play on emulators, and, like, it's one of the things which is kind of bad about the way I play video games, is usually I have something running in the background when I play video games. Like, I know a lot of times in a console LP, I like have my computer somewhere, and I'm listening to another LP, not of that same game, but just an LP to have nice background music. It happened to me very recently where I actually played a game without any background noise, and it was interesting. Because it was just something I hadn't done in forever, because I just always had this background noise. But yeah, I didn't have the background noise, it was interesting, but, like, paying more attention to this music this time around, because I'm actually listening to it, it's just reused so often, and, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We have to use the mushrooms, stuff. And then we get to go to this area, which means there are enemies that I actually have to kill, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's a pretty easy way to kill everything in this entire game at this point. It's like just your reward for getting that many red jewels. Like, they assume A, you're going for 100%, or B, this is as far as you're gonna get with red jewels. And if it's as far as you're gonna get, you know, then good, you've got a little reward for getting that many. And if you're going for 100%, well, then you should expect a good reward. The final reward is interesting. I'm not even gonna bullshit you, I have never forgotten the final reward. I just know what it is, sort of. So, when I, oh crap, I could only use it once. That's interesting. Do I have to find another one then? So, with what happens with the final reward, I'll be as, surprised as you guys. Which, you know, is interesting. It makes this LP, like, half-blind. But not really even half-blind, just a very small portion of it is blind. Yeah, God, I don't know why I tried to, like, run in there and attack if I could just do that. And that was really cool how it all lined up perfectly. Ugh, God, getting all these dark jewels. Hopefully I'll get to the max, which is 9 lives and 99 DP, because for some reason they didn't make it so you could go in double digits. Mostly because, I'm guessing at least, because that would be extremely excessive if you had 99 friggin' lives. Like, even with, if you're using a Game Shark code to get 9. That was really awkward how I did it. Yeah, and so now I have to use these drops on another stem. But yeah. Like, if you use like a Game Shark code, you get 9 lives, you can still die. Unless you use the invincibility code, but I mean, what kind of a douchebag would use an invincibility code? God, that's just something that like the wimpiest and worst individuals in the entire, you know, gaming community would use. God, like this game's extremely easy in every single part, even the boss fights are extremely easy. Why would you even need to use a Game Shark? I don't know. I guess if you're just terrible at the game, you'd have to, okay, kinda done that. God, it just takes so long for my health to completely refill. And I feel like I didn't get a power-up in this area, like the second little area I didn't get a power-up from. I'm not sure, I might end up just killing all of those enemies out of, like, just to make sure, and end up regretting it because I did kill them all first time around. And I've made myself lost. This might take a bit. I don't know, for some reason in my head I just heard the little sound effect when he's jumping on the little, like, things, and it's like, boom, boom, boom. You know, mushroom areas in video games are kind of weird. I'm just, like, thinking about this, but they're not too uncommon, which is odd. Like, 3 I could think of from right just now. I just thought off the top of my head. This one, obviously. In this, like, you might call me stupid for using a Flash game as an example, but like, whatever the new epic battle game is by Kupo707, he's probably the, well, I can't say best, but my favorite Flash game developer, because his games seem like real, like, if he had, like, more money to work with, I guess it would be, like, he could make a really good video game, because he's made terrific games with terrific mechanics. Like, oh god, they're simply brilliant. I've loved pretty much every game he's made, because they're just full of extremely not, okay, like, if you've never played a game by him, I suggest going on congregate.com, looking up Bullet Heaven, if you're into top-down shooters, and if you're not into top-down shooters, maybe even, because that game is brilliant. It's one of my favorite Flash games of all time. I don't know how this, like, I don't know, whenever I hear the term Flash game, I think it's, like, not as, I think of, like, some sort of Newgrounds, you know, dumb little game that you play, but these games are really, like, fleshed out good games. But, like, yeah, I suggest going to play Bullet Heaven, or maybe if you don't like top-down shooters, you could try the Epic Battle Fantasy games. Epic Battle Fantasy 3 is amazing, and the other two are different and not as good, I would say, but they're still good in their own right. But they're just different kinds of RPGs. They're interesting though. But yeah, if you're into RPGs, you know? And if you're into, like, platformers, then the new one that came out, but I can't remember its name because I haven't played it 10 times over like the other two. Or, well, if you want to count the other Epic Battle Fantasies, but I only sort of... Anyway, but yeah, his games are... Didn't mean to do that. Let's see where this takes us. But yeah, his games are extremely well fleshed out because, first of all, they have solid, gameplay. Like, the gameplay is nice, the gameplay is fun, and, like, that's not even the half of it. The dialogue is funny and witty, and it has tons of references to video games and other things. You know, some anime and stuff. Like, I remember, in one, he had a reference to Lucky Star, with there was like a girl named Kanata, and she wanted to fix her computer. Lucky Star is an anime, if you haven't seen that. But yeah. And there's a lot of other stuff as well. But, like, he just has tons of references and stuff, and which, you know, is refreshing, because, you know, you don't see that with, of course, many big-name games, like, some indie games, I would say, of course, like, The Binding of Isaac, of course, which I did an LP of, that's, in progress. Just, I'm taking a brief hiatus until I can get a new computer that can record it. If you guys aren't hip to that situation, I guess, that's how it's going. But, yes, the gameplay's amazing, the dialogue's amazing, the music is surprisingly good. Like, I've never seen a Flash game with such, like, music. I've downloaded the soundtracks to Epic Battle Fantasy 3 and to Bullet Heaven, because they're just amazing soundtracks. Like, these feel like soundtracks to actual games, and like the boss themes are great, and it feels like a nice boss theme that's like climactic and stuff. They're brilliant, just simply brilliant, and the art styles are interesting. The art in Bullet Heaven is just beautiful because all the bullet and the effects and how they've chosen to make it looks simply stunning. And then, like in other games like Battle Fantasy, they have a more cartoony approach to it, I guess, where all the characters are like chibi characters. Chibi, not exactly sure the correct pronunciation. Oh crap, I got a new power-up. What the hell power-up is that? I don't remember a power-up. Aura. Really? Aura. I read like aura and enemies around you. Let's see what we get. Aura barrier can now be used. Oh, fancy sentence before you could say it, game, because I'm amazing. The aura barrier is a dark power that can only be used by the Dark Knight, Frieden. Why do I always call him Friar? Use the power warrior, put a barrier around you. Use the attack and LR buttons for power. So, I suppose it's like the other attack where I gotta do this. Holy shit. Oh, that's cool. I don't even remember using this attack. Probably because it's kind of useless. Oh, you have to hold the button. And then you got a nice little shield around you. And so you're just like walking around, you see an enemy. Boom, there's my aura barrier. What you gonna do? Nice. That's pretty cool. Gotta say that's pretty cool. And we saved up and healed up there, which is also very nice. I don't know if that area isn't mandatory. I guess it's not. Because, you know, I'm sure we don't need the aura barrier. And, I mean, I guess we might. But, God, where are you? Oh, yeah, I forgot I killed all the enemies. But yeah, okay, getting back to that other area. I'm gonna have to use this mushroom drop somewhere. Oh, right there. Well, that's quite simple. Sorry, scratching my nose. Ah! Enemies, I forgot about you. Oh, yes, I just have to use my aura barrier. Oh, yeah, you got a quick little aura barrier. Bam, you're dead. So you got smacked by my aura barrier. Oh, you're trying to hit me? Why don't I just use my aura barrier and kill you? Oh, yes, quite indeed. What shall you do now? What say you, foul cretin? I'm assuming I have to go this way, and that little thing back there is sort of... Oh, look, a person trying to attack me. Well, I guess I'll just have to use my aura barrier and kill you. Stop your attacks from hurting me as well. Yes, indeed. Just continue to use my aura barrier and kill the both of you. Very nice indeed. Oh my god. No way. It lasts for quite a long time if you don't attack. Gets cancelled out. Oh, you're trying to hit me? Well, why don't I just use my aura barrier and kick your ass? How about that? How you liking that, you little Soggy the Dark Clown? Is that what I was thinking of? Possibly. Yeah. Oh my god, that just brought me back randomly. Like I thought of Soggy, you know, that brought me to Yu-Gi-Oh! If you don't know, Soggy the Dark Clown's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. God, I'm just full of references and stuff. Oh my god. So have you ever been listening to a podcast or something, and they say something or reference something, and you're like, oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I could tell you so much about it, and oh god, I just wish I was... That happened to me today. I was listening to the Shaft podcast, which is a Minecraft podcast, and they were like, oh yeah, there's like Magic the Gathering cards where it's like, rip up this card and, you know, do this. And that is actually, when he said, rip up this card, that actually, there's no card that tells you to rip this card up and do stuff with it, because that would be horrible. And I like how I'm talking about this, and this was an episode Chef that was released, like, you know, this was back when Minecraft was in beta 1.4, it was, or maybe that episode was 1.3, but, you know, it was, like, way back when. Anyway, but he was all like, oh, you have to rip up the card. There would be no real card that would tell you, rip up this card. It would be a single-use card, and you could only use it once. And it's not like once per game, it's once forever. Like, I remember, in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's removed from play, and so, in the Legend of God Ra's effect, like, they came out with a legal version of it so that you could actually play with it. And if you don't know, it's like Legend of God cards were these, like, beastly cards that, like, they didn't even say anything on them, so everything, they, like, said, like, crazy, like, symbols and stuff, or whatever, text that you couldn't read, and so people just played with their effects from the TV show, which was completely OP, and so its effect, when the official version came out, it was like, you can use this effect and pay like 1,000 life points to remove a card from the game. And so there's remove from play, and then my cousin is talking about like, oh, okay, so you don't remove from play, you remove it from the game. You don't remove it from play. There's like graveyard, and then there's remove from play, and then so then they're like, he was like, no, not remove from play, remove from the game. So you pretty much just like rip it up and throw it under the rug, like, you know, it's removed from the game. And that just reminded me of it, because the Magic the Gathering card, I'm getting back to Magic, which I don't play at all, and yet at the same time still nerding over Yu-Gi-Mons, which I play. I semi-play it now, but not really, I don't actually play it. I play the video game, and do like random opponents, because like, if I played anyone on online thing, I wouldn't be able to play because I don't know what the metagame's like at all. But, so, like, the card, what happened was, its effect was if you toss this card into the air, the Magic the Gathering card, of course, you toss this card into the air, and, like, destroy, or do however much damage or whatever, or do something to the cards that it falls on. And so one player, in a tournament match, like, he played the card, and then he tore it into pieces and threw it into the air so that it, like, rained down and hit, like, everything on the opponent's side of the field. And it was eventually ruled by a tournament director that that was a legal play, and that he could actually do that. And no one had ever done that before, because, like, this was a fairly expensive card, you know? Like, you don't just pick up your cards and, you know, rip them up, but that guy did that, and that was, like, amazing. Like, I heard about that, and I was like, that is really cool. Like, that's, like, so, like, imagine you're playing this guy in the card game, and so you're, like, in a tough spot, like, 10 people are watching you, and you're, like, the final match, or, I don't think it was, like, the finals, but it's, like, let's say it's, like, the semifinals in a tournament, and so you're in a tough spot, you're like, I want to move on, and so you just go, and you just, like, you just, like, play this card, and they're like, you can't do shit with that card, and then you just tear it into pieces, and everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then you just rain it down on the floor, and then the guy's like, what? Like, calls a tournament director, and then he ends up ruling it in your favor. And you know how much that would, like, suck if he didn't end up ruling it in your favor? Because then you just ripped up this valuable card for nothing. But, like, oh, that's a really cool story. Like, I like how, I know LPers, like, I like it when LPers tell stories. Like, in NCS, when he tells stories, there's interesting, you know? Like, that's a thing. Like, LPers, it's great for them to tell stories, but, you know, since I'm only 13, I don't have too many stories to tell. At least not in real life. I have some interesting Minecraft stories, which is, it's pretty interesting to tell Minecraft stories, because it's almost like real life. Like, these situations you're in, because, like, you're interacting with real people, and, you know, doing all this stuff with them, and, like, the only difference is that you can do whatever you want and feel no consequence for your actions, which is a really nice, you know, thing about video games, and especially online video games, is that, you know, like, no sensible person would run up with, like, 100 people in a crowd and start, like, yelling, like, everyone here likes penis, this, you know, if they're all in, like, a mall or something, this mall sucks, you know, like, no one in their right mind would ever do that in real life, but, you know, in these video games, they can do that, because I'm pretty sure I need to be young will for a certain portion of, getting back, but, you know, they can do that because they're in this environment where there's no consequence for their actions, besides maybe getting banned from a server that's online, you know, and it's makes for really interesting things and interesting stuff that people do, because I think I just reset a lot of my progress with that. But, like, you know, because, like, I can legitimately go on a server and, like, completely and utterly troll people to death if I felt like it. Or, you know, I could be a really kind and nice individual and fit into the community, whatever I wanted to do. You know, that's just it. And then also, like, no matter how successful you are in real life, I don't know, this may seem kind of weird, because that may sound like I'm trying to make it seem like you should escape from all your troubles in real life by playing video games and, you know, being powerful in video games. Like, no matter how successful you are in real life, you could be, like, the king of the world in a video game, or you could, you know, be extremely successful and have, like, a ton of money, or in the video game, you could be absolutely god-awful in it, you know? But yeah, I'm stuck in this labyrinth, like, God, I know there's a, guide to get out of here in my guide, but, like, that's from the final room, and so I've gotten so far into the maze that there's no way I'm going to be able to follow it anymore. So I'm going to have to find something else to talk about while I run around here. GameCube LP? I guess, like, I could talk about stuff, like, about the GameCube in general. I really want, if I do a console LP, here's the thing, if I do a console LP, it's definitely going to be on the GameCube. At least my first one's going to be. It's not like everyone's going to be, but that might end up happening. Do I have water right here? No. Damn. But, like, if I do a console LP, it's gonna be on the GameCube, because the GameCube is, I'm gonna say it, guys, I know it's crazy, GameCube is my favorite console, and you guys, with your PS3s, and your Xboxes, and even the Wii, you're gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? Why? Because the GameCube had some of the best video games. If you look back at the lineup, I got a Nintendo Power recently, and it was the top 25 games on the GameCube. There were so many good games. You had Animal Crossing, which felt like a really nice, like, Animal Crossing. I don't know, for some reason, I think Animal Crossing controls better with a controller than with the Wii, you know, motion controls, but, you know, that's just me. I think you can play without motion controls. I actually don't own City Folk, but yeah. But yeah, like, and speaking of the motion controls, that's one of the main reasons I like it better, is that a lot of games, or a lot of things in general, don't need motion controls. They can be implemented well, but having them put away, or having them gone altogether, is a very good alternative to having them work well, because, like, they're just not that great. And this is probably back to the chest, huh? And yep. But, like, I just don't enjoy them very much. Like the GameCube. Okay, now here's a perfect example. Like Super Mario Galaxy, despite the fact that their motion controls were implemented well, I still enjoyed Sunshine. Now, despite the fact that those two games have many other differences, the controls in Sunshine, or even the controls when playing Super Mario 64 with a GameCube controller, I just prefer a controller than having to move with a controller and then, you know, whenever I want to attack or whatever, you know, flip my wrist. Because, like, it's just a lot easier to push buttons rather than to have to do these things. And I know it seems kind of lazy, but it just controls so much better. And then there are a lot of games that is just god-awful that they even have motion controls. Oh god, I'm back here again. I'm gonna be stuck here forever. Oh, yes. Indeed. I think I'm gonna cut to me getting my way out of here, and then I'll continue talking, because God, this is taking forever. I don't want to bore you guys with just it taking forever and me ranting on about stuff, like in this be an episode where, like, all I do this episode is I'm just, like, in these vines doing this, and that's it. I want to get, you know, stuff done. Truth be told, probably just gonna find my way back to that area and then use the guide. So yeah, I will meet you guys back on either like the end of this area or the world map. So yeah, I'll see you guys. Finally, I am out of the hell that is the friggin' mountain temple. Oh god. Now it's tiring. I don't think I can even record any more Illusion of Gaia tonight, because the raw recording for this is 40 minutes long. With all the running around and stuff. I guess I'll continue my little speech about whatever the hell I was talking about. God damn. Now I'm gonna have to remember what I was talking about. Whatever, I'll figure it out in the next part of Illusion of Gaia. So if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like rating. If there's something you think I can improve upon, or something line specific, please leave a comment. And if you think you'll enjoy more of my content, be it Wi-Fi battles, PO battles LP, or this LP in specific, Illusion of Gaia, then please subscribe. That's all for today, guys. Goodbye.